This morning, we're going to be discussing the 300 million naira that was given to the Nigerian Bar Association for their annual general conference planning to the committee planning the conference every year. That's the Bar Association. If there was a story that broke recently where, according to the story, the Rivers State government had given the NBA 300 million naira because was their support towards the NBA conference, which was supposed to be held in Rivers State. However, following the current situation in Rivers State with the issue of the sole administrator who was there, and the fact that the government currently, the NBA then decided not to have their event at Rivers State and moved it to Enugu. Now, because of that, Rivers State is now asking, because of the emergency rule, Rivers State was not asking for a refund of the money to be sent back to them. Unfortunately, the NBA therefore said it's a one-time fee. They cannot refund that money because that money has been paid. And I was trying to just find the quotes from the spokesperson from the NBA specifically here. He said, traditionally, considering the enormous costs involved in hosting the AGC, the NBA actually approaches many agencies and state governments for support, and the support is requested unconditional and is not tied to hosting rights or any rights whatsoever. So Rivers expected that they have the hosting rights because they paid you 300 million naira. Now, NBA conferences have also been supported by different state governments, corporate organizations, ministries, departments, and also groups. Now, such financial supports are in form of gift, partnerships, or sponsorship. The money from Rivers was a gift and not tied to any purported hosting rights for NBA AGC. That's from the spokesperson from the NBA. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Because there are so many levels. I mean, people have said, why would you be asking for a refund? Others are saying the right thing to do is to refund because you're going to a different state to host. My own question is, why am I even giving you 300 million naira for an event in the first place? These are the conversations we're going to be having this morning. You can call us on the numbers on your screen, 020-163-52013, 090-241-63440. You can also send us messages on X and on YouTube. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts. Let me start with the lawyers in the house. Why are you guys using... Well, let's not talk to why. Let's start with, what are your thoughts on this refund? Should they refund or should they not refund? Let's start with that question.
All right. So, for starters, MBA we already know, is an organization, and I've been part of the MBA for 17 years, right? And I know that whenever the conference, before the start of the conference, they put together a planning committee that raises funds, plans the whole conference to make sure that, we're there, we enjoy ourselves, we network, and then we plan, different programs and that will benefit the judiciary and Nigerians that we're serving, because we're here serving, making sure that the law enforcement and everything is being adhered to. Okay, no problem. And then in doing that, we know that so many ministries, corporate agencies, they have they accommodate corporate social responsibilities in the sense that they make provisions, right? If not for the MBA, for other people that want to do something, come and ask. And then over the years, different government bodies, state governments, agencies have always contributed to support the MBA. Not be today, now, don't they? It's been a while. So why will River State, that was asked for support, give a gift? And then due to one reason or the other, where maybe the MBA feels that certain things doesn't align to its values, the MBA has the right to move the hosting of the MBA conference to any state that it wants, for whatever reasons. And they did that. So you cannot come and say, because they moved it from your state now to another state, that a gift that you gave should be refunded to... we're sorry, we can't give it back. It can't happen.
Okay.
Value. What? So it's the sponsorship, as far as I'm concerned. The MBA conference has been since before, the governor or the sole administrator of River State. And state governors, whether hosting states or not hosting states, have always supported the MBA. Also importantly, the MBA is not just a group of lawyers. It is also a pressure group on any government in power. If the NBA needs to express loudly their objections to the sole administrator at the state of emergency in Rivers State, they will express it in other ways. You do not be surprised that even at the conference, some of the issues that will be discussed will be this emergency, state of emergency, something. That's what some of the issues that will be discussed. And to discuss it fairly, you can't be in the state even though they had asked to be hosting. So they can request that we can host. I remember that when I was interning with the law firm I interned, one governor that is now very powerful that time was a state governor. He requested to host the NBA in the state, and he funded it because you are moving, hosting event places, accommodation for executive members and all of that. Those are huge expenses, and so governors from time to time volunteer to host. What is important that we must appreciate here is that not be because say they don't collect money, now they no go fit talk again, which is what the NBA is trying to express here. And the NBA can also come out publicly and say, because of the situation on ground politically, we will not be doing this at a particular point in time. They also take the events across the country from state to state. I think it's been a while Lagos hosted the NBA. So they go like that.
The Portable performed.
The one they hosted in Lagos, na Portable come. I be no be
Portable come.
Abuja, I think.
It was Lagos that he was climbing the pole.
Okay, you saw that.
How do you remember that
3 years ago?
His hosting was, even we criticized the NBA planning committee that year for bringing such a personality to a noble profession event. So they collected their money, which is supposed to be a sponsorship. My problem in this thing now is that the sole administrator does not even know why he was appointed. He's not facing the business of the day.
Leave sole administrator from this one.
Is he a collector of money? Is he a collector? He's retrieving money.
He's the one asking for the money that gives you
for sponsorship.
Before he came.
As we speak now, the chief magistrate of the state just resigned voluntarily.
Exactly.
You have not reassured the people that the machinery of democracy in the state is still intact. Everybody is running up and down the state, and you're not concerned about that. Why do you want to come and upset something that is working normally? They've taken their MBA. MBA is not the business of Rivers State.
Exactly.
Okay. The MBA is not the business of Rivers State.
I get you, and I'm not disputing what you're saying. This is my concern. You see, and I always try to look at the bigger picture. And the bigger picture for me is that why is a state giving anybody 300 million naira for sponsorship?
Really?
Where does the governor get this money from? What is he manufacturing in the state? I mean, listen. I need to understand what you are producing because okay, let me finish because I don't know where he's getting this oil from. The state is 13% derivative that they're coming to them. The point is that are we not all part of this thing called corruption? And I'm treading carefully here. NBA is a highly reputable body. And it's a body that is almost like Nigeria's the people's last line of defense when it comes to the judiciary and the justice. Now, if you're going to be collecting money from somebody, there has to be something, there's got to be, I would rather a company that produces, maybe a telecoms company says, I'm giving you 300 million naira. It's a company sponsoring. But governor, why would an NBA collect money from governor? Where is governor getting the money from? Is it from the coffers of the people's? Is it from people's taxes? Is it from people's? Is it from the security vote? Where is he getting this money from? That's the question. When I say 300 million for what? Why would I give NBA?
Why are you restricting the NBA sponsorship to?
I am just wondering why the NBA collect money from government. That's my own problem.
No, but why are you restricting
return or no return? Why would the NBA collect money from government?
Why are you restricting the NBA? No vex
to
sponsorship to only corporate entities?
Because I don't.
We are not Big Brother.
Thank you.
We are not entertainment show.
Thank you.
It is the NBA. It's a serious business that is discussed there, where governors also want stake. You have corporate professionals gathered in one place. Governors of any state will want those serious matters discussed.
It's a matter of prestige even for the governors.
For every governor.
In their states.
I can support
and they have their security votes that is not part of any audit in any part.
Are we asking the right
Rivers
question?
is very rich.
Yes, and they have portions for corporate responsibility,
Yes,
things that they want to do, and they decide where they want those funds to go.
Yes, it's part of their budget.
It can be their annual budget for legal. It can be their annual budget for media. It can be their
annual budget for anything,
and it can be the budget that they want. Because as I said, they are a pressure group. You want the NBA to see a particular point in view. You know, at the time this sponsorship money came out, the matter already diagram between Godfather and Godson. Yes, so Godson can think, oh, this is a very relevant pressure group. They can pressure Godfather because Godfather na lawyer. Yes, Godfather na lawyer.
It's a different angle.
No, that's the angle. That's how money came out. Godfather na lawyer. Let us go and get his people to talk to him. Those are the pressure group you want to influence to talk to him. And so if the NBA had their conference, if they had it in Rivers State, he would have sent home a very important message to Godfather to face FCT business.
Let me. There's another angle I want to bring. There's another part I would like to bring. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. You know, the reason why I find it quite bizarre that NBA is collecting money from government, because I guess maybe from my own background, I remember that my dad was president of the Nigerian Bar Association, and I know they were having a conference once, and his people, the planning committee, went ahead to go and invite Governor Raji Razaki to be like their special guest. And of course, they didn't tell him, of course, he's the president. He now found out that, what? He went to go and invite him. Go and collect back my invitation card. I didn't invite him. Of course, the because they were scared that you've already given the governor. He said, I did not invite him. Go and collect it back. He's not invited to our gathering. Well, do we want Raji Razaki, the military governor at the time, to come to our for what exactly? What is he coming to do? And he insisted that they should return, they should go and get back his invitation card, that he wasn't invited. Now, because the NBA was seen as a highly reputable body that speaks for the people, that represents the people. I'm not against NBA because we've somewhat watered down since his time in the 90s. We've watered down the essence of what NBA really stands for. If you are now going cap in hand or going to go and speak, or governor, or please, we need sponsors. If you can get a sponsor from an independent company, fine. But from government, how would you therefore speak on behalf of people? How do you therefore speak against government confidently when you are collecting money from them? That's where I'm coming from as an NBA. NBA is my own last line of defense as a Nigerian. They are the body that I can run to if I have been treated, if my rights as a citizen is trampled upon. So I want to see them as a sacred body. But once you start frolicking with government and government give me money, if you do it behind, don't let me know. But now that I am aware, I don't know. I'm seeing them in a different light. That's my position.
Right. Okay. Are you done?
I'm done.
Maria, do you realize that government also has rights of defense within the NBA? That is not just you as a citizen. Do you know that?
Absolutely.
Thank you. So the NBA is a body that serves everybody. You as an individual, as a citizen, government bodies and agencies, the NBA is there to serve Nigerians as a whole. And then you remember that as NBA, they don't do anything without Oda. And for sponsorship, there's something called the sponsorship clause. And the sole administrator needs to go and check the letter, because you cannot give someone 300 million just like that. It's a government money. There were processes before that money moved from one hand to the other. So they should go and check in whatever the agreement or clause in the sponsorship. Did they write that if you give us 300 million, it is because we will do this, host this in your states?
Okay, let me ask Monima.
If it doesn't form part of that,
let me ask you my direct
they can't
question.
give you money back.
To protect the dignity of NBA, do you think it's right for them to return that money?
No.
Just for the dignity?
Money no day to return.
There's no money to return. Just spend them. There's no money.
I'm talking about dignity, perception.
Let's talk about dignity.
We're talking about
going forward,
yes, just because we need the money, no doubt, but we can find the money elsewhere. For our integrity, for the sake of our integrity,
there's no money.
Return. But do you know if the NBA returns that money, somebody else might give them that money.
We can't find
for where?
Somebody else might give them that money.
Yeah, it's possible. Let's not even give up.
Yes.
But the point is that
You're not refunding sponsorship money.
It's sponsorship.
It's a gift.
No, they're not even.
I gave you that money because I wanted you to host in my country.
No, but
spend
you
it.
bring out a written document to show that that was the agreement and that was the
I
contract.
think that's a pledge. And you know, when a pledge has been redeemed,
That's what America is right on that. That there was no document.
There's no document showing that.
There's
So-
no even document, even if there was, that a pledge, once redeemed, should be returned. I don't think pledges are done that way.
and
The rule
apart
of
from
pledges
that-
is different from those of
No, I mean like for the sole administrator, it says that it should show an agreement that
you
says
can't
that.
find it. It was a pledge done by the governor. You should go and hold Fubara to return him
Exactly.
300 million. That's one. That's just serious stuff. But the NBA conference has since left where it was when your dad was president.
Yes.
Since it's become a very big show. The days of when it was just the conference and the serious business of lawmaking and all of that has passed. Lawyers now also go to the conference to also relax. Towards the evening, after the serious business is discussed, there's also events, which was why they bring some artists, people will stay for the after party and all of that.
Sure.
Even when I was at law school, once we finished our exams, they allowed us have an after party in Abuja. We did have an after party, even though I did not show up before people would say that I was partying. But that's happened.
It's okay to relax, my dear.
I relax in my room.
So you're right.
But
It's different from
it
that
has
season.
since gone far from that. And so more money has now. It used to be done with the dues paid. You know, per set, per 5 years of post calls, 10 years of post call. That was how the monies were generated. So if you're an SC and you know your own money is bigger. So they used to get those monies like that within the structure. But because of further expansion of what it was, to make it more inviting to people, you know, some people just don't want to go to a boring event where only talk is serious. You've already had a serious year. And so they do a conference and there's a party.
Yeah.
Portable can come again.
And we need to eat now.
But even after that,
No, but your dues
I
were
mean,
used for those
you know,
purposes.
the reason they would have collected money from Ifubara is because he was democratically elected.
Yeah.
Now, the reason they are removing it is because it's a military man.
It is an expression of their
administrator.
objection.
Yes.
It's a pressure group to what is happening in River State.
Yes.
And I think that's
There are
valid.
quite a lot of group comments here. Let me take Yakub first. Good morning, Yakub. You're live.
Yeah, good morning, Brian. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
For me, good morning, Sister Yemi.
Good morning.
For me, I go with Morayo this morning. The question is this. I'm very sure we have the true lawyer in the studio there. I want to ask both of them, Sister Nima and then my sister. Are you ladies not paying a dues because you are a lawyer? Because I learned that every lawyer in this country has some kind of dues they normally pay. You guys are paying your due, maybe yearly. I'm starting to be corrected. Are you not tell us that that kind of a due that you guys are paying, it is not enough for you guys to organize whatever you want to organize? Now, let's come to think of it. If the governor of a state giving the lawyers and then sponsoring them for being, say, they want to head what kind of a meeting, is it the same money they normally pay all kind of association in this country, like a Petroleum Nigeria Association, the Theatre Group of Nigerian Association and all that? Even they can even pay all the Artisan Association as well. Is it the same? Are they giving us money as well? So, being a lawyer, you guys know the law. You collected money from somebody and then you now move the agent to another state and then you ask for his money. The state has for their money that you return our money. You are not saying the money has been paid. You return the money. You know the law. You return the money. Good money. You just reply to this. You
That's
pay.
an interest. Yeah, go ahead.
Let me answer. The money was not for hosting.
Thank you.
You don't pay the MBA to you don't
For
pay
hosting
for
rights.
hosting
Will not
rights.
be
There's no hosting rights.
NFA.
There's no hosting fee. Then, apart as the River State gave this money, other agencies and state governments and governors that want to also support, they will still sponsor. They will still bring their money. So it is not just that. It's just because they're talking about River State's own sponsorship. The other people will have sponsored.
Yeah.
Can I read comments?
Exactly.
Let me. There's a few that we got in the group. Let me read them. Mayor of Ederland says Nigerian Bar Association receiving 300 million naira from a sitting governor of a state who refused to present a budget for preparation. Is that lawful? And that one says a 300 million naira gift leaves room for so much conjecture and leaves the NBA in a bad light. The NBA was shockingly silent when Fubara ruled Rivers with a 3-man assembly operating from government's house. Could this be why? Also, Murtala said 300 million naira unapproved, unappropriated money given to Nigerian Bar Association by Fubara is unconstitutional. EFCC must probe NBA and how the money is shared among the NBA school. Corruption thrives in compound of NBA. So the issue is, so I get the whole don't return, but for me, this is like it for me. They are speaking my sentiments here that it is not just about who gives or don't give back the money. Where did this money come from?
That is a matter that you have with the governor, not the body. A lot of people will pledge support. You can pledge 100,000 naira support. You can pledge 1,000. And for Yakubu was asking what with dues we pay for. We pay. Some people pay dues as low as 5,000 as lawyers, and for an annual event. In that your 5,000, you get your legal stamps, your MBA stamp, and all of that. You also get all that.
Naira.
Yes, that's some people's due for the whole year.
What's your own due?
For my airport score year, I don't want to talk outside. I paid my own. I'm not paying this year's now because they've not given me my stamps. But that's how we pay it. And so it's used for running the entire affair of the MBA for the entire year. So you go to your local MBA office, as I think
Lagos,
it's at law school. And you get all of your entitlements, all of those things. But the conference is an event.
Yes.
Anybody can pledge. I want to calmly look at this thing properly. So the Fubara, as a governor, did not get his budget approved. Naim. He, as a governor, now pledged a support which he redeemed to the MBA as a body.
Where did he get the money from? Can't the MBA ask him?
If Fubara has... Hold on. Please, I just want a neutral question. If Fubara, as a person, has 1 billion in his account and decide to give Amaka 300 million in his account, can we have this conversation where you get the money from?
Exactly.
If it's showing you where you get the money from, what assumption? How do you arrive at the assumption that the money is from the River State coffers?
Thank you.
Just because Ibas is asking for the money?
Thank you.
Okay, as a governor, are you manufacturing something in your house that is giving you 300 million?
Are you broke? You became governor.
Let me and Nima let's have this conversation. Because as a governor, the oil is not your personal property.
No, it's
the
not.
people's property.
I agree with you.
Now, you as a governor now, is that that you are producing something, you are manufacturing something personally with your personal company that's giving me 300 million that will give you.
You must be a Dangote.
Yes, okay. Because don't tell me that you went into the people's money.
I agree with you, Morayo. You know that's me, I agree on this
I want you to take me
But if as a governor, what my salary is in a year is beyond $1 billion. I cannot give somebody 300 million.
Absolutely. So wait, no, I'm almost done. So if Fubara is earning $1 billion a year
as governor,
no problem. Now that 300 million, if I know as NBA that governors are earning $1 billion,
how will NBA know? That's my question.
What the governors are earning.
MBA as a body, people would have pledged support for this year's conference from way back.
Different places.
If everybody redeemed their pledge and MBA carry EFCC touchlight and go say, as the sources.
So let us find out.
So Ibas, if he wants to allege that a fraud has happened, show us that Fubara,
he's not alleging that fraud has happened.
No. He said they should bring his money. He must show us that the money.
The reason he doesn't.
They went into account in River State and took the money for MBA. But then you will not be asking MBA just to return the fund. You must show that the money was to force MBA to host their MBA conference in your state, which you cannot show.
I'll come to Amaka in a second. Let me go to Bola from Abuja as a whole. Then I'll come to Amaka then YK. Bola, you're live.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Go ahead, please. Need some volume.
My own take on this issue is that unappropriated funds, according to Supreme Court judgment. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, unappropriated funds, according to Supreme Court judgment, is like a stolen fund. And that fund was not appropriated for, whether it's 2024 or 2025. So in Yoruba parlance, they said, "Ẹni tó gbé epo lọ́jà kọ́ ló lè, ẹni tó gbà ló lè." So the NBA, being a moral, justified body, supposed to return that money, not grandstanding. Now that they know where the money comes from,
like that,
whether it's from Fubara himself, whether it's from government, they're supposed to now look at it and say, this is a stolen fund according to Supreme Court, and they should return the fund and then find a way, to pander their own image and say, we are wrong in collecting this money. So for them to grandstand and say, it's a gift, no, it's wrong. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No, Amaka, the reason for what's his name, Ibas, what is his name, is asking for the money.
So
it's not yet.
The reason he's asking for the money is because they are not hosting it there, not because
it's illegal.
Yes, you see, that's what I want to say. We need to understand this conversation. The conversation is not, so he himself, as the sole administrator, is not saying that there was there was fraud, or that the money was not appropriated for this, or that, so it was misappropriated. So to people that are saying this, you need to understand where he's coming from and the fight. His anger is that money was given for hosting as hosting fee, and that the MBA is not hosting. But we were now responding to him to tell him that there's nothing like hosting fee. It's called a sponsorship. And if you feel that you want a refund of a hosting fee, please, Oga, show us an agreement or a contract that states that.
I agree with you, Azmaka. Everything you said is correct. We are saying that even though Oga Ibas has not seen it that way, we as the people that were looking in and saying, well, so they've noticed your funds has not gone through appropriation. So where did the money come? So we're not talking about hosting or no hosting. We are telling you
I like that
know.
conversation. That's where I like Gegen. These House of Assembly members that went to court to get their Supreme Court judgment, when they were paid all the sitting allowances, it was out of appropriation.
Thank you very much.
They have not still passed appropriation. I don't know this. The salaries of civil servants that were paid. You see that is former panel.
Nima, can I hug you?
House of Assembly approved the appropriation bill with which civil servants' salary was paid for 1 year. But now that they are now paying MBA, a redeemed pledge.
Yes. Okay, let me go on a very short break.
Can I read comments?
Okay. When I come back, I will read comments. Stay with us right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to be wrapping up very soon. Let's take a few comments.
Yes, I want to read this one. It was from Hakim sent me a WhatsApp message. I think he lives in London. He says, Mike, I believe it's morally right for MBA to refund the 300 million for the following reasons. Relocating from Rivers State to another state is preventing the states from generating revenue from the activities. B, MBA was aware of what was going on in Rivers State when the governor demolished the where were the MBA when the governor demolished the State House Assembly? Then Moses Ade says, if River State can give MBA 300 million as professional bodies, then they owe Association of Nigerian Vulcanizers, Butchers, Masonry, Sweepers, same amount.
Okay, so Emmanuel says, when the First Lady pledged 500 million, and the president's son also pledged the same amount, 500 million, that they do not see people asking where did they get that money from.
These are not elected officials.
They come now, make we land now. No, you ask about personal funds of Fubara.
First son is not an elected person. So he might have his own personal money. First Lady is not an elected position either. She might have an. So for you to question where her money,
did they get
find out from her.
You know, we are all
she's a private citizen, so you can't compare her to a Fubara or to a government who's taking from government.
Fubara bought a shoe.
So they are two different.
Fubara was a private citizen before he became.
If Fubara bought a shoe as a sitting governor,
he gave.
Must it be from the state
I'm
coffers?
just saying that. Listen, right now you are governor, or you are the governor of the state. So wherever that money came from, you owe the Nigerian people that information. These people you mentioned are private citizens.
Let me take this one. This one says, Akinlo Mogbojuri says, Nima, you refuse to speak the truth because of MBA. Okay, let me just tell you that I am not an active member of the MBA. I don't take part. I've not attended any conference deliberately. I don't go to the conferences. But we are discussing monies. A pledge, and I think people should Google what a pledge is. I can pledge to anything, and if I don't redeem it, there's no action that can be taken. But once redeemed, somebody can say, I cannot come and say, oh, yeah, go and give me back. Because there's no particular format of contract that goes to it. If you now have a business as to how monies were disbursed, are we discussing this? If Fubara had given money to another association, for instance, and not the MBA who has a conference, we will be having this conversation, asking the bodies to return the money. If you have such disbursement issue, you have it with Fubara. If Fubara comes and shows that this money was from so means or personal funds, it's a different matter. Okay. If you are looking for River State money, we understand. But if you are looking for why, because MBA was giving money and you're insisting they must come and host the conference at your state, you need to show a document saying this pledge was given for that purpose.
Exactly. Let's not comment as a wrap up on this.
So Corey Michael says, return which money? Money where they don't already share.
They don't share them. They don't flash.
Mama TMO says, good morning, ladies of your view. Everyone. The MBA on grounds of principle should return that money which it received as hosting rights money.
And I think Amaka has clarified that several times, that it wasn't a hosting rights money, because it was just a sponsorship money. There was nothing like hosting rights. Now, you, the giver, you might be assuming, because I'm giving you 300 million, host here. That's your assumption. But they are saying they never documented that. It was never spelled out that once you give us that amount of money. Even
this network you're talking about.
Kemi says, my view is that when I give you that much money and I have a problem, it doesn't matter how I get the money, I will back you up. It's natural. You ladies, on your view, no double standards.
What? I don't understand. Anyway,
I don't really understand the message, but...
So I think we have to wrap up. But I think, in a nutshell, I get the part of NBA is not willing to refund because they feel that you've pledged this amount of money and it's been used. So they're assuming that maybe you pledge it because you want to support NBA, which is fine. I mean, it's their own decision. For me, my own perspective has been that I have seen NBA as such as a sacred group that should not be seen to be.
You mean you're mixing them up with the body of benchers?
No. The Nigerian Bar Association for me still represents lawyers in our country, and lawyers are the ones that defend the Nigerian people when it comes to when your rights are trampled upon. Everything that gives you human dignity is trampled against. That's where you need a lawyer to defend you. And this body puts us together. But as Nima has also helped me to understand, the way I see the NBA back then is different from what the NBA event has become. It's now a show. It's now an event. It's no more that secret or group of people having serious conversations. It's about
criminals also entitled to lawyers, and lawyers with
it's not a show. So because of the show, now my only worry is that even if you're doing a show, do the show on legitimate money. Don't do the show on money that belongs, because we are all fighting corruption, either by the work we do.
Who is saying the money is illegitimate? How do you know the money is legitimate?
Where did Fubara get 300 million naira from? They tell us. Is it your private money? Are you selling pure water? Are you selling sandals?
When Wike has been donating money up and down and was donating money. Wait, when Wike was donating money up and down, who asked any question?
Shots fired.
Nobody asked now. Now because Fubara is on the wrong side of whoever. Now everybody shouting, oh, where did you get it?
Also, I would like to see.
Let me respond to
that level.
Let me respond to Waike. Fubara can give 300 million to anybody he chooses. I really don't care. But the moment a Nigerian Bar Association collects that money, that's where I raise the finger. Now, if Wike gives 500 million now to NBA, I'll be wondering why would they collect it from me, Wike? I would ask that question because of how I see the NBA. He could he give it to Hairstylists Association of Nigeria, that's his business. Give it to bricklayers, that's your business. But the NBA is supposed to be, in my own view, a sacred organization. That is where I have a problem. So it's not my problem with who Wike is giving money to or who Fubara is giving money to, but it's the organization that is receiving that has a problem with it. That's my own issue.
And when you say NBA is for me, it's a sacred organization. I need to understand that because lawyers defend
everybody, criminals, everybody. That's what I'm saying. Murderers.
Lawyers defend. Wait now. Lawyers will defend murder. They go even though say you kill the person, they will still go defend. Say
no, our business is to do the business of
because that murderer is a citizen. That murderer is in Nigeria. He should be defended. So what? So there's no. What's the point? So murder or not is in Nigeria.
Excuse me. Yes. I'm not even talking about whether it's in Nigeria. Lawyers in general, I'm saying lawyers in general will defend.
So the group should not be called.
That is sacredness.
So what's sacred about that? There's nothing sacred because they will defend anybody, whether you are a thief or you are an innocent person. So what is sacred about that?
That is sacredness. Go.
We have so now that a sitting sole administrator is asking of military past, is asking the NBA to refund money. I'm wondering if the NBA refuses, as they have done, to refund the money, where will he go for redress?
Where will he go for redress? I like it. Oh, Nima, speak.
If it's not an illegal entity, if it's not an illegal person,
you've given us a cataclysmic ending, so we should just move on.
Let's just go.
Everybody go upon it.
Let's go on a short break. When we come back, move on to our health segment. Stay with us. We'll be right back.